We are live.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to episode 177 of Behind the ToolBelt with TC Backer Construction.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
Behind the Tool Belt is sponsored by Lead Scout. Find out more at leadscoutapp.com.
Roofers, you want at least 5 solid lead gen tactics building chemistry. Let's say you have door knocking, referral systems, job site branding, and you add in aggressive SEO, paid ads, and boom! Smells like more leads. hookagency.com.
TC Backer, TC Backer. We're back.
Boom, TC Backer family. What's going on? Tyrus, how are you, man? How are you?
I'm great.
South?
I'm great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's Wednesday. It's the best day of the week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we have a special guest, Ericka, and she's scared shitless.
Hey.
So we decided to pop her cherry tonight on Behind the Tool Belt before Ericka gets a hold of her ass. So, Ericka, how the hell are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good as shit. It hailed like hell down here a week and a half ago, and the guys are crushing it a day after we opened up our door. So we have been blessed with the hail gods.
You can't write a better book for that, man.
No,
For real.
I know.
We need some hail in Myrtle Beach. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Like now.
yes, it's a game changer. I mean, it really is a game changer, and I would like to take the credit for that. Like, I strategically planned it this way. But every now and then you do get lucky. They say the sun does shine on a dog's ass every now and again. So that has been one of those moments. So
I've never.
yeah,
I like it.
but we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to head back to Pennsylvania at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We have the Peak Achievement Awards hosted by the York Builders Association, which is something that us and the leadership team and a whole bunch of other people dress up suits and ties, and we go and enjoy ourselves, have beverages, have drinks, food, and then usually we end up with some kind of award. We don't know for sure, but we like to show up just in case if we do. But the past 2 or 3 years, we've won the what do they call it? The most community volunteerism.
You volunteer.
Yeah, which is our most favorite one. But a lot of people put in for, I don't know, like decks and patios and pools and projects and stuff like that. Most, I think one guy got one for like $1 million project. So the highest priced project awarded best home builder, all kinds of awards. But we feel like the volunteerism is probably, the most, because we're all about integrity, honesty, and doing things and giving back to our community and stuff like that. So we feel like that's the biggest honor. So yeah, looking forward to that tomorrow night.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that time of year again, man. I can't believe a year has gone by since the last one. Time is just flying. great things are happening at TCB. But Ericka, tell us about yourself. I know you're with roofing.com, and I picked up that you're coming out of Myrtle Beach there.
Yeah.
How'd you get into the roofing industry with roofing.com and with Hunter?
So I've been in the roofing industry for about 4 years now. My father-in-law here in Myrtle Beach actually owns a roofing company. So I've been kind of involved with it, kind of did the office stuff and been to all the GAF conferences and everything. And last year, actually, he sent me and my husband to RoofCon. It was just last year. And I left RoofCon kind of like how everyone else leaves, like super motivated, like, oh, I want to crush it. I want to kill it, all the stuff. But it was different for me how I left RoofCon. It was like more of, I want to be a better person. Like all the things that were implemented, that's like that was like right down my alley. And like watching all the speakers and how they were like really handpicked for the conference itself, like it just blew my mind. So of course I followed Hunter on social media. And then, and I think it was like January, he put up a post on his story and was like looking for a salesperson or whatever, account executive for roofing.com. And I was like, messaged him and said, hey, I'm a mom, so I'm not going to move to Greenville. I'll be remote, but can I do this job? And he was like, I'll set you up with a call with Marcus tomorrow. Literally, it was the next day. And they sent me, oh, you're hired kind of thing. And it's been a ride ever since. So it's kind of funny. I mean, Hunter took a chance on me, had no idea who I was or if I could do anything that he wanted me to do. And it's just been really amazing and a great opportunity.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. So that's a great segue into so how do you do a job like that and be a mom?
So when obviously, so I have a 3-year-old, and I'm actually about 9 weeks pregnant at the moment. So if I do black out or blank out, we'll blame it on me being pregnant. But, so obviously having Walker, my husband's doing the roofing, he's working and all this stuff. So it was hard because I was trying to be in and out of the business. And sometimes I'd have to come in late and everything, but I just tried to make it work. I have a fantastic mom who lives about 20 minutes away who helps me like no other. And when she has him, I'll come into the office and I'll do the work. But lately, recently, William actually transitioned over to Revolt. So he works for Revolt now under Michael, who I think you had last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's home a lot more. He's able to kind of do so we just kind of go off and on. I mean, it's really hard. I don't think people really understand what it's like to work full time and take care of a child. And that goes for anyone. That goes for a dad, a mom, anybody. It's really hard. Now he's at that toddler stage where he's just like, I'll get on a phone call. Some of my calls I have to do in my car. Because if I leave the room, he'll like scream for me. And I'm like, dude, just give me like 15 minutes. Like all I need is 15 minutes. I'll be right back. But it's a lot easier now that he's at Revolt. And, just the fact that I'm able to work for roofing.com and Hunter knows this and Marcus knows this, that I do have a child running around my house, and they help me out with it. Even, being in Greenville or Minnesota, they help me out. So it's pretty amazing. It's very difficult though at times.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I know just being a mom in general and then having a full-time job, especially in sales, to stay focused, on what it is that you do. And from what everyone is telling us, I mean, that you're an up and comer and a bright shining star and doing very well and have been very successful. So what do you think is essential for success in sales, and how would you continuously develop and refine those skills?
Good question.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for me is when I talk to anybody, whether it's, $100 million roofing company, or I'm talking to somebody who's just starting, when I have these conversations with them, I do it a lot different than a lot of other people would. I get on a phone call because I want to have a conversation with you. I don't want to act like we're in a lecture hall and I'm showing you this presentation. I'm going step by step. And then at the end, it's like, boom, this is the price kind of thing. I want to be able to do what we're doing right now. Sit there, have a conversation, and some of the people that I talk to, like, they need that in their day. They need to just have a relaxed conversation. So I think the most important thing is to remember that we're all human beings. We all like want to have a conversation, even if it's like rushed or whatever the case is. So I take my time in really getting to know who I'm talking to. Obviously, we add roofing into it, we add jokes into it. So for me, with the success aspect, it's just been really just talking, just having a conversation instead of trying to do a sales pitch.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's a good point. You know, because I mean, how do you think empathy plays in that role? Because it sounds like you're very empathetic, and you're trying to build a relationship. It's not just a sale, and it sounds like you have identified too that the sale is never over. So you're trying to create that relationship, build those bonds, and your network. How do you think empathy in those conversations has helped you?
I definitely think it's helped. I mean, you're exactly right. I want to create these relationships. I think if you look at all the partners that we have, I think they'll tell you like I'm texting them. I mean, we're constantly talking. They know they can reach me at any time. I think that's super important too, that I'm not like, okay, and here you go to the next person. Like you're never going to hear from me again. And I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like doing that. But I mean, I think being empathetic in anything you do for a certain amount, you don't want to have too much because you don't want to get, you don't want to be a pushover. But even when I was in the roofing, like actually roofing industry, like talking to homeowners, everyone's like, you care too much because I'll be there for hours, like talking to like, this sweet little old lady or talking to somebody. And it's just because if I'm talking to you and I want to build that, I'm taking the time to build that relationship with you. I do care about, your needs. Also, I'm not going to push somebody into something that I don't think they're right for if they don't align with our core values, or anything like that. I'm not going to do that to them. Same thing goes in the roofing industry. If you can't afford it, I'm going to find every single way I can to help you. But if we can't, I'm still here for you. You still have my number if you need to get in touch with me. So I think up to a certain point, empathy is super important.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Chris.
That's a great point. Building relationships, because I mean, at the end of the day, any Joe's going to come down, especially farther south you get. It seems to be more door knocking and more of a free for all in the storm areas and everything. Anyone can go there and sell a roof, but building that relationship, people are buying from you, not necessarily the roofing company, and you being the face of that company. You got to really set yourself apart from every other person that's going to come knock on that door. And, how do people buy from you? People buy from you because they trust you. You know what I mean? You're not going to trust somebody without building a relationship. So that's first and foremost in sales, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like my father-in-law always says, we're not doing business, something around like, we're not doing business with business. We're doing business with people. So first and foremost, like focus on the person you're talking to. And that's what I do. And if that means my 30-minute call for roofing.com with whoever I'm talking to goes into an hour and 30 minutes, as long as I can make that work, I'm here. Like, I'm ready to talk to you. What happened in your day today? How was your day? Was it good? Or was it going to shit? Like, I don't know, but I'm here to talk about it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what you got to do. You got to be you. And why don't you explain to our viewers exactly what it is that you do at roofing.com and what is roofing.com? Because I think things have changed a little bit for the direction of where roofing.com was going and where it is today. So why don't you explain that to our viewers?
Yeah. So I'm the senior account executive at roofing.com. I'm getting, on the calls, and what we're doing is we're talking about the exclusive partnership at roofing.com. Obviously, roofing.com is the biggest domain in the roofing industry. So we were kind of thinking like, how can we use this domain, but how can we also help people? Because if we know Hunter, we're going to want to make an impact. We're going to want to help, how can we do that? So we created this exclusive partnership where only one contractor or one company in a metro area can be the exclusive partner. And it comes with a bunch of deliverables, like a bunch of training, roof con tickets. We also have two great partners that we're partnership with for our exclusive partners, which is Limitless Roofing Group, that's ran by Dylan McCabe, and Scorpion, which is run by Corey. And, just having those two guys kind of, you know, talking to all the time, and what they can bring to this partnership is insane. So, you know, having that, but it's just a way to have all these deliverables to help a roofing company however we can. You know, either make them grow, or if they want to just use roofing.com to leverage their platform, you know, they'll be the exclusive partner in roofing.com. So it's really cool. And the amount of things that you get out of being a partner, I mean, there's no beating it. I mean,
Hmm.
it's really good. But
Yeah.
I'm just the one that has those conversations and tells everybody about it. And you know, at the end, if it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, you know, then I understand as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So you get to talk to roofers all day long.
I do. Yep. So nothing new to my world. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
No doubt. So let's talk about the approach to the process of building a personal brand and establishing credibility within the roofing slash sales industry. What strategies have you found very effective working with other roofers?
I mean, I definitely think, honestly, I'd have to say, like, talking about like the shingles that everyone uses. I mean, I know that probably sounds stupid, but like I'm a huge GAF person. Okay. Like I love GAF. I bleed GAF. And you know, when I have a contractor who's like, Owens Corning, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, then we get into a conversation of like, okay, all the shingles are the same. And, you know, and then we just get talking about that. It's kind of like another like talking point, I guess. But you know, just having conversations like that. But when it comes to like personally branding, like, what do you mean by that?
Personal brand. Okay, so like Eric O has a personal brand. Jen Silver has a personal brand. So like yes,
Mhm.
you work for roofing.com, but like people who are in sales or trying to make a name for themselves in the industry, they come up with like like a hashtag or some kind of personal brand. Like our personal, well, my professional brand is obviously this, right? Like this is our
Yeah.
logo. So that's kind of our brand. So you know, Agatha Hall, she's a good one. She calls herself the godmother of roofing. So um, you know, I guess when you first are in the position that you're in right now and you're trying to develop that you know, personal brand, um, I guess I just wanted to know what was your idea of like what are you going to do to create that personal brand? Have you thought,
So I
or do we
think
need to make one tonight?
yeah, no, I haven't thought, that's a great question because I haven't thought about that. Because me, like personally, like I am so happy where I am. Like I don't even think about like a personal like brand or anything. But one thing I think we all started at SolarCon that we were just at, is me and William actually started hashtagging like the roofing couple because we literally go everywhere together and we're always together. The only time I'm not with him is at Revolt members retreat or retreats in general because I'm not allowed to be there. But you know, we kind of made that like our personal brand. I'm not somebody who like wants the spotlight by any means. And I think everyone who knows me can tell you that. Like I'm very happy where I am. But I think that would be our personal brand because we're really good at working together and we kind of do everything together. So since we travel everywhere, we're always like, oh, your favorite roofing company or favorite roofing couple is at SolarCon or we're at IRE or whatever the case is. So that's definitely my personal brand at the moment.
Good.
I
That's good.
imagine after this, somebody's going to come up with my personal brand, and then I'll be like, "That's it. You're right. Okay."
There you go. Yeah, if we
Yeah,
can't do it for you tonight, I'm sure tomorrow night or next week, Ericka will.
yeah. I am.
No, but what's cool about that is when it naturally happens like that, like, and you're not trying to force it, or if somebody else points it out, that makes it more authentic and more genuine, right? So now embrace that.
Yeah,
Like, if you guys are going to be like the roofing couple, I think that's pretty cool. Embrace that, um,
yeah,
and get creative with it. And this is where it gets fun, right? Like what you do. Not that it's not already fun and exciting, but this is like a different dynamic to it where now you get to really get creative with it and come up with a brand and start marketing the brand, because then anybody who thinks about roofing.com, they're going to think about Ericka Kristen. How do you say your last name? I'm sorry.
That's my Facebook name. I literally made it when I was 15 and I was like, I don't want people like knowing me, but my last name's Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah. So I mean you can call me Ericka Kristen. That's on my Facebook, but
Stewart.
that's my middle name.
We're gonna brand Stewart. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But no, that's good. So what are your plans? I mean, I know your mom and you said that you are expecting again, right? Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
We don't. So that's gonna be next appointment, but this time we're gonna do a gender reveal because I think they're super cute. And last time I couldn't wait. I had to know right away. So we're gonna do that. So I probably won't find out for a little while. But
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
It was really it's a funny story, and anybody at SolarCon can tell you I was extremely sick at SolarCon. And I thought it was food poisoning, and everyone was out having fun and like going to the networking, parties and stuff like that, the things that I look forward to because I don't really go out anymore. And yeah, no, I was in the hotel room the whole time. And then I was like, I came home and I'm like, I'm still not feeling good. All right, everyone's joking about it. Let's just see. And well, yep, it happened. So yeah, so it's scary. And I'm gonna obviously, on Eric, I'm obviously gonna get a lot more into that. But it's gonna be a ride, that's for sure.
No doubt. No doubt.
Kids are fun.
Yeah. What advice would you give
Yeah.
women raising children who are interested in pursuing a career in the sales / roofing industry?
I would tell them to go for it. So a funny thing right now that's happening is William's sister, who I'm extremely close to, she's 17 and she's asking me constantly, like, what should I do? What should I do? Like, what should I do with my life? And I'm over here like, don't stop worrying about that right now. You're 17, live your life, have some fun. But I told her, I'm like, sales has worked for me. I didn't come out of college thinking I have a psychology degree. I didn't come out thinking I was going to be in sales. But the best advice to give is just go for it. If you're a people person and you're truly authentic about people, you don't just do it. You obviously are going to do some of it for the money and this and that and all like the glam, I guess you want to say. But if you are authentic about wanting to connect with people and create those relationships that we talked about earlier, sales is such a perfect route for people. And then you mix that with the roofing industry, which I love to death, and the people I've met, like I have met some of the best people in this industry, and you mix both of those together, you can't go wrong. And if you're good at it, you have to be good at it too, and you have to be willing to learn. I mean, I'm always watching podcasts. So I don't know why I was so freaking out so much, but I'm always like watching podcasts. I'm always reading books, just stuff to make myself better because yes, like right now I'm getting all the, oh, you're killing it. Okay. Well, I want to bring it up to that next level and I want to get to that next level. And, so I'm always trying to learn. But I would say it's great if you actually care about people and you truly, want to have relationships with people.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there. So can you discuss the importance of mentoring or mentorship and networking in your professional growth as a saleswoman?
Yeah. I mean, of course, the main person he's not even really my mentor, but just Hunter in general. I mean, the platform that he's given me, and he's not very motivational. And that's kind of a joke between me and him. But just he always has my back. All of them do. Like I have the best team I could ever ask for. And I know we all say that about our team, but whether it's Revolt, whether it's Michael, whether it's Hunter, whether it's Marcus, whether it's Diego at RoofCon, like they are just the best team. And I think of all of them as mentors, like, and they'll tell you, when I found out I was coming on here, the first person I went to was Michael. Cause I know Michael is like, he's really good at this stuff. And it was probably 2:00 in the morning and he sent me back this whole long list of things like to focus on. And he was like, just be you. So, I think if you have a team already, that's going to be your best way to network. And that's going to be your best like mentorship right there. But I definitely think that, within your team, having such a good bond will just help you grow and network and do this and do that. Cause they know a lot of
Very good
people that
point.
I'm like, who are you talking about? Like, who is this person? They'll be like, I'll show you, like, here. So I think that's the best thing, at least for me.
And that's an important aspect of being around a group of people. I just heard something today that you are a reflection of the 5 closest people to you. And that, so if you're hanging out with a bunch of dirtbags, you're going to be a fucking dirtbag. If you're hanging out with a bunch of overachievers, you're going to be an overachiever. And I know firsthand that you have surrounded yourself with some of the most high performing people in our industry. And you named every single freaking one of them: Diego, Michael, Hunter. The list goes on. And that's what's cool about it. And I don't think people even realize that, and it's funny because I have just recently noticed that, like, I know as a kid growing up, I hung out with people that just did things that weren't so good, right? And that's what I picked up. I picked up things, their behaviors, their verbiage, the way that they talked, the way that they spoke, the way they handled themselves. And I had no idea how badly that was going to affect the way that I treated other people or how I acted, right? So over, of course, I've gotten my life together, but I didn't really realize that I needed, if I wanted to go and elevate myself, that I had to hang out with people, like-minded people that were continuously trying to work on themselves from the inside out. Whether it was reading books, like you had mentioned, watching podcasts, all of those things, because if you're reading and you're listening and you're hanging out with people, you start to use that vocabulary. Your behaviors start to mirror their behaviors, those things
My
like
internet
that. And
keeps
I
cutting
didn't
out.
know. What's that? I'm cutting out.
I think he said his internet keeps cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see you guys. So I'm
Oh, that's weird.
flying
That'd be
blind.
weird for me if
It's
I could
because I
see
don't
you.
have a monitor here. That's all. I can see you, but it was like from 15, 20 minutes ago. But anyhow, what I was saying is basically you're only as good as those that you surround yourself with. And I think early on, as especially in your 20s, if somebody's watching this and they're listening to this right now, make sure that you're surrounding yourself around a good group of people that either want to further their education, that are doing great things within the community, that want to do something great for their industry, whatever that might be that they're going to get involved with. And that was something I didn't know. That I didn't know anything about that. I never even thought about those things up until I don't know, it could have been 5 years ago, where I started to really notice that the people that I was hanging out with, or the people that I was associating myself with, or those that were mentoring me, that I was picking things up from them vicariously, right? Or osmosis. It just happened. I just started to act like them, like whether it was little lingos, little sayings, whatever. Ken today walked over to me and we were having a conversation, and he said, "Good shit, man." And he was like, "Dude, I say that all the time." And he's like, "Now I'm starting to talk like you all the time." And I've only been hanging out with him consistently for the past 4 days, but now I got him saying, "Good shit, man." But from little things to that to whatever. I mean, and we can go down that rabbit hole as far as we wanted to go down, but mentorship's huge. Networking with people is huge, especially for your professional growth, your personal growth. And just relationships, right? What have we been saying? Your network is your net worth, right? And there's no truer statement than that. And it seems like the older I get and the more further we get into business, that motto rings true almost every day.
Yeah. That's part of that, man, because I'm having technical difficulties with my internet. It keeps cutting me out here for a second. But the back end of that, what I heard about, surrounding yourself with the right people, that is so true. I know for me personally, I was stuck as a late 20s, early 30s guy with imposter syndrome. I was just so afraid to really overstep anything other than just a laborer. I was just going to be a laborer the rest of my life because that's just what I was good at. And, no one ever really took a chance on me, and I never really put my foot into a door to try to take a chance on myself. And surrounding yourself with people that will encourage you to take that step, to encourage you to stay uncomfortable, be comfortable being uncomfortable, like you say, Ty. That stuff is so motivating. And what are you going to do every day if someone continuously says, yo, like, go get it, and you just don't ever go get it? I mean, you're eventually going to go get it, right? If you have people around you that are just happy, just living bare minimum and not really getting uncomfortable, and they're just okay with good. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to be good. And sales is a big thing to follow that in, and any journey really in life or professional. It definitely will take you to whole new levels, because you're only going to be as good as the worst person in your circle.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so let's where do we want to take this conversation now? So, all right, so being in sales and being a woman or male or female doesn't really matter. I don't even know why I said that. So, I think honestly, my personal opinion, I think women are better at sales than men anyhow. That's just my opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent. But how do you handle rejection or setbacks in sales, and what strategies do you employ to stay motivated and bounce back from those challenges?
So there's two different instances. So in the roofing industry, actually being with the roofing company, like if somebody slammed a door in my face, I'd be like, I'm also very competitive. So I'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to get the next neighbor. Like, I know I'm going to get at least 99% of the doors slammed in my face. So I think like competition kind of takes hold of me, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to show that person, how good their roof can look if they would have just talked to me for a second. But then when it comes to roofing.com, I think that I'll have people that obviously aren't interested, right? But I think, once again, going back to having that conversation with them, I have never got rude comments. I have never gotten like, this is crap. Like, I don't like anything nasty. Like, I have never got, it's really been like respectful. It's been like, I just can't do it right now, or like blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, I just went into this. So, whatever the case is. So it's kind of hard for me to answer that with roofing.com, because I've really talked to some great people who are extremely respectful. And I don't know if that's just because I'm a woman and they don't want to be rude, let's bring that up, and I completely understand that. But they have just, everyone that I've talked to has been pretty like reasonable and respectful. When I don't get a sale, I will say this, it brings that fire inside of me. That's like, all right, like I have, and everyone, my team can tell you this, I have a goal every week of what I do. If I don't hit that goal the next week, I'm just like, I'm crazy. I'm like, okay, well, I have to make up for last week, like this. So I think that like that fire inside and competition in me, like, I guess the ex-athlete in me, like, really comes out to be like, I need to be better than last week, or I didn't hit my goal, and those are my personal goals too. They're not only work goals, they're also my personal goals. Like, I hold myself accountable to getting 3 sales a week. Let's just say that, if I don't make that, I'm not holding myself accountable. Now, it's not always going to be like that, but I need to go into the next week prepared, maybe more organized, maybe think about what I'm talking about more, instead of just like, winging it in a sense. So I kind of got to do like my homework. But when it actually comes to rejection, I have not gotten that from roofing.com. I've gotten that in the roofing industry, but I have not necessarily got that where I am right now, which is awesome. And I think it's super respectful. And I think that just shows too that, whether you're $100 million roofing company or not, like, these guys really are respectful. And that's what the roofing industry is about. Like, not everyone's an asshole. And I think that happens a lot, where they get that name, like, oh, like, it's a con, like, you're an ass, and it's like, that's not true. Like, the roofing industry, like, I wouldn't surround myself around all these people if I thought that. Are there some people? Probably. But I mean, I think as a whole, I think, everyone's really respectful, and everyone wants to see everybody succeed. Now, I've only been in the roofing industry for about 4 years, not my whole life, but that's what I see. So
it's definitely come a long way. It really,
Yeah.
it has. I've been roofing for quite a long time. Not really as involved as TC Backer is. You know, I've only been here 5 years, and like really gotten a taste of what the roofing is outside of my area code.
Yeah.
But just in the 5 years, I mean, Ty, you can attest to this, man. Just in 5 years, leaps and bounds, and the eye-opening experiences that we've had with this industry, you know, outside of our area code and inside of our area code. I mean, think about the vehicle that roofing is, that this industry is, and what it allows you to do as a business owner, Ty, and Eric, I'm sure you can attest to this too. You know, the vehicle that we're all in, that we're able to do things in our lives because of this industry and because of the people that we're surrounding ourselves in this industry.
No, that's a great point. And Ericka and I had a brief conversation via messenger about you know, us being the pioneers, and she's a part of that, of, like you said, Chris, like this new generation of roofers that are coming up and through. And let's be honest, Ericka, you said 4 years. 5 years is a lifetime in the roofing industry, right? I mean, it really is. And so the evolution and the changes that have been happening in the roofing industry, and the smart people that are coming into the roofing industry, right, that are up and comers like yourself, Ericka, Hunter Blue, the list goes on. I mean, we could just go through. It wasn't like that 5 years ago. It wasn't like that 10 years ago. The technology wasn't there 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago. Things are definitely changing. E-commerce. I got a call today. We put a billboard up that had a QR code on it. They said it was the slickest thing ever. And I was like, hey, that's, you know, welcome to e-commerce roofing. You know what I mean? Because things are just changing so much, where you can get an instant quote in 26 seconds from a QR code. I mean, that wasn't even possible 9 months ago. I mean, at least 9-12
Right.
months ago, right? I mean, that's just how quickly this thing is evolving. And it's like, if you're not evolving with it, whether you're in a sales position, a leadership position, a management position, an entrepreneur position, you're going to fall to the wayside, and you're going to fall to the wayside quickly, because in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, this thing is the landscape of this and the dynamics of this industry is going to look totally different than it does today. And it's like, you got to keep up on that stuff. And that's just been my experience over the past 36 months. You know what I mean? Things have changed so much that what used to be good practices, even let's talk about practices, right? There's some people that still I don't know, still use notepad and paper, right? Now, not that I don't still use Post-its, but let's face it, you don't even have to use that stuff anymore. You could go totally paperless with your CRMs, with your aerial roof measurement tools that are out there today, the instant quote tools that are out there today. I mean, it's just crazy. Either you're going to conform to it, or you're going to dissipate.
Yeah. Great point, man. Great point. Technology is crazy. I mean, who knows where we're going to be in 5 years again here from now. Eric, I got a question for you. When you're, you know, doing your daily tasks and everything, what do you look for in a roofing company? Like how do you target your market? What kind of market do you target? Do you know, how do you generate leads? Because you're not a business to consumer type thing. You're a business to business. So like how do you generate those leads and go about your daily duties, if you're able to disclose that?
Yeah, so a lot of the leads come from, honestly, Hunter making a post about what's going on, you know, and then people see that. And then once they get to me, like once I show them everything, like all the deliverables, then it's like a no-brainer to them. But definitely Hunter making posts about it. A lot of people know of roofing.com. The funny thing about it is I randomly, before I even knew what roofing.com was, went to roofing.com to learn about roofing, because I thought, I don't know, I just thought roofing.com, like, okay, it's the main roofing website. So, you know, that's really funny about that. But like a lot of people know roofing.com, and a lot of homeowners use roofing.com. So when they're going, you know, it kind of takes out the whole shopping around for a contractor, because I know how many homeowners hate doing that. So now you just go to the roofing.com website, you type in your address, and wherever that address leads to, if I have a partner in that area, they're getting that lead, and it's a qualified vetted lead. So, that's kind of how the lead process works with the business. But with me, we get so many, people who believe in Hunter. So if you put something out there, if you know Hunter, it's not BS when he posts something, and they're interested in it. It kind of gets their, mind kind of going. So that's kind of how the leads work out. And then we'll just there's a ton of random people that just come into the CRM, that were like, okay, like I have 25 leads today. Some days it will be like 3, but it all depends obviously with everything else. But that's kind of, how our system goes is if Hunter makes a post, I know my week is packed. I know I'm done. Like there's no going out. There's no dinner at 6 o'clock at night. Okay. I'm working till about 9, if not longer.
What kind of vetting process do you go through with people to bring them on board roofing.com? If someone wants to sign up, can they just sign up, or is there criteria that you have to meet?
Yeah. So basically when I do my calls, it's kind of like an interview that I'm also doing. So, we get on the phone, I have them tell me a little bit about themselves. They have to align with our core values, which is integrity, leadership, and legacy. You have to align with that. You have to have over a 4.5 Facebook rating, or a Google rating, because we don't just take random people, and you have to be licensed and insured. We understand places like Texas where you don't need a license. So, we kind of are lenient with it there because you don't have to get one. But you have to be insured. And that rating is really important to us, because if we're going to give, a homeowner, or if we're going to give one of our partners a lead, and, it's coming from the roofing.com name, let's just say, we don't want you not to show up, or, whatever the case is. So if you have like a 0.5, like Google rating, it's just not going to happen. But definitely core values is a huge part of it too.
And that was a great question, Chris, because so basically what she's saying is not just anybody can join up for roofing.com. So that means something that matters. It's almost like having that master elite status. And it almost sounds like the core values of it are a lot similar to that, with the demographics of, so many roofing contractors in that area, and the background checks and the licenses and the insurances and all that stuff. So homeowner can go on to, I'm assuming they're Googling roofing, .com and in their area. And then what does it funnel directly to you, or does it go to that roofing contractor?
Yeah, so it will come to us first once they type, and it's a bunch of questions you ask once you type your address in, like, what kind of roof do you want, shingles, metal, whatever. And then it will be like, how long do you want to get your roof done? Like, 3 years from now, or do you want to get it done in 1 to 3 months? So it will have that. It will have a bunch of things on it. How old is your roof and stuff like that. If you don't know, you don't know. But it comes to us first, and then we will send that over to the email, or your sales manager's email, whatever the case is. But usually we send them to the owner's email, and they kind of distribute the leads in that sense.
Gotcha. So what if you have, our zip code's 17315. What if you have 2 roofing.com partners in 17315? How do you distinguish who gets that lead?
So that's the main thing about the partnership. It is exclusive. There can only be one person. So if I put TC back, if I put y'all in as the exclusive partner, then your competitor or whatever cannot come in and say, I want to be a roofing.com partner too. Like, sorry, our space is already full. You can maybe do the outskirts of where you guys are in Pennsylvania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like way outskirts or something like that. But right where the counties that they're in and that they want and everything like that, you're not, you can go on a wait list if Ty ever wants to leave, which I doubt he will, but you can go on a wait list, but you're not getting that spot because it's exclusive to one company.
Gotcha. Is that like a circle radius around, our headquarters? Like how does that work? Is it just like, when you sign them up, they get to pick what areas they want to work out of, or?
Yeah, so we usually do 3 counties up to a population of 1,000,000. So, obviously the Houston, let's just put Houston as an example. Houston's split up into 3 sections because it's so big. And there's what, like millions of people in Houston. So it's broken up into 3 sections. But normally, we'll do like 3 counties. Obviously, if you're not at that million population yet, we'll try to add in a few more. We really want to do the metro areas, the big areas that, we can at least split up where a lot of volume is going to come. But that's kind of how we do it. We really try to do it by counties. And hopefully it will lead up to that million population, but we can add a few, we can do certain things with it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's unique, and it doesn't sound like obviously nobody else has done this yet. And like you said, it's the largest domain. I can't even imagine what that thing is worth.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is so
Yeah.
crazy and fortunate that we know the guy.
Yeah, right.
That owns that domain, and how cool is that, right? Not
Yeah.
some random dude over in Australia or some shit.
Yeah.
Get that. You know what I mean? Because if you go to like siding.com, it takes you to CertainTeed's website.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool that like not a shingle company owns that or something, that Hunter was able to get creative with that. And it seems like he's still getting creative with it because it wasn't always what it is now, right?
So from what I know, and Ty, you probably know more about it because you've been in Revolt probably longer than, I've been in this setting. But I think what roofing.com was kind of like the umbrella to Revolt and RoofCon. It wasn't, I don't know if they were really doing anything with it. I think it was just kind of like, like RoofCon, sponsored by roofing.com or something. I have no idea. I could be totally wrong with that, but I think that's what was happening. So now I'm so happy to be a part of something where we can actually help businesses grow, do things for them, network, whatever the case is, and also be able to use that domain how it should be used, obviously in a very high demand. So I think that's awesome that we can do that.
Yeah, I do too. I think when he got it, I think he had a bunch of ideas, but just couldn't figure out which way to go with such a powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it took him a minute because I think he was thinking about, turning it into like a roofing company's name or a collaboration of multiple roofing companies but I think he thought long and hard on it and had decided that it would be more of a powerful tool being used the way that it is, with it being a domain, because let's face it, that's what it is. Probably it's the most powerful. I'm sorry, my allergies down here are killing me.
I'm sorry about the bikes.
I'm
I
wheezing.
know you can hear them.
Barely.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm deaf, by the way. What the hell is the domain being so powerful? I mean, shit. I mean, use it. The way it's being used right now, I think it's just a phenomenal idea to impact our industry as a whole, right? And what's cool about it, there's a special little niche to it. So if you get in, like my friend John DeVille did down in Charleston, South Carolina, he's the only roofing contractor that has the rights to the roofing.com domain to use it to his advantage. Which kind of leads me to another question on the latest trends and stuff like that. So like, what trends or changes? No, I have water, John. Thank you though. Do you anticipate in the sales industry, particularly in I don't know, what trends do you see coming? We talked about it briefly earlier, with the e-commerce. Now you got the roofing.com domain that other roofing contractors that can sign up for. We have Roofer, we got Roofle, we got all of these things. So being in the position that you're in, and it's not really, I guess, like a SaaS or tech position that you're in, but being of the age, I guess, because of the age that you're in, you guys, Chris's age, and then the next generation of people that are coming up, like, what do you see happening next to the roofing industry?
Good question.
That's a great question. Yeah. I feel like there's so much that's going on. There's so much that sometimes I can't keep up. Like, I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, let me read about it or look at their YouTube video or whatever. Um, I don't, I don't know. I mean, I think one thing I will say, and it's not necessarily like technology or anything like that, but something that I know me and Hunter and Marcus all talk, Michael too, have all talked about is I know we want to do like a women's revolt. So I think that's definitely going to be up and coming. Like we were at SolarCon and they had a women's mastermind there. And I was like, hold up. Like, I don't know about this, but because obviously like I love it. But I know that I definitely think women are coming into this industry super strong. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a woman. But I see it all the time. And I think that's going to be a huge thing, kind of like that women's revolt in a sense. I don't know if it will be a revolt, but we'll figure that out at some point. But definitely something like that. I think is really cool. And I mean, I met him. I like him a lot. The Euro Shield. I think that is so cool. And like I said, I'm a huge GAF person. Let's say like GAF shingles for life, like whatever. But like the fact that you can turn tires into, I remember he came up to our booth at IRE and I'm like fresh in this, like I'm standing right next to Hunter. Like I have no idea who I'm talking to. And he's like, oh yeah, like my friend or my coworker just shot me in the leg with a shingle. Like obviously like an airsoft shot, like whatever. And I was like, what? Like, what are you even talking about right now? Like, I think that's super cool. I think that changes the game, of course, with hail and insurance, and all that stuff. But that's a great question, Ty, because I think there's so much out there already that it's kind of like, where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I would even think of something like, oh, I want to invent this for the roofing industry, it's already there. Like,
right.
Or GAF's doing it already, or Owens Corning's doing it already. It's like, I can't even, make something because it's already there. So I don't know. Yeah.
It is a tough question. That's why I wanted, to pick your brain a little bit, and anyone else that's listening, throw it in the comments where you think what's going to be the next latest and greatest trend in our industry. And it's so tough because e-commerce is right around the corner. Just like you can buy a car online, you can buy shoes online. People are buying roofs online, right? Which is like the latest and greatest thing. I thought the coolest thing back in the day is when Eagle View came out with aerials, and who thought that anybody would have been able to top that, right? Now we got instant quotes. We got roofing.com, we got Euro Shield. So, not only do we have synthetic underlayments, now we got synthetic shingles, right? Basically, I guess if you want to group that up into a category of metal shingles and rubber shingles, right? Might be like the next latest and greatest trend. Man, I don't even know. I guess remote sales, you know what I mean? With the e-commerce of the roofing and stuff like that. So like basically if roofing.com could, if somebody could go online to roofing.com where they just send a roofing contractor out there that I don't know, I was on to something there, but I just lost my train of thought on that. But where people would have a job like you that could sell roofs to homeowners that just simply go online and have like local contractors in their portfolio that would go out and actually do the job is probably the next latest and greatest, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's how it is. I mean, with roofing, obviously not to that extent, but roofing.com in a sense, like I have the contractor. You're looking to get a roof in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I have your contractor already. You stop shopping around. Like, they're going to be qualified. So fill out the form real quick so we know what you want, and that contractor will be out there, So I think we have a little part of that. But what you're talking about, I mean, I catch what you're saying, and I think that's actually a really good idea. I think you might have come up with something there, Ty.
Yeah. So hopefully Hunter's listening.
Yeah, he better be listening.
Hopefully Hunter's listening, and considering he put you up to this, right?
Yeah.
He's probably not. I don't see him in it.
No, I don't. He's probably not.
No.
He's probably going to be like, oh, I didn't know if you were going to make it or not, so I didn't want to, watch it.
Mhm. That's funny.
Story of my life.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what bit of advice would you give a man or woman who aspires to excel in sales and achieve their goals in this field? So what bit of advice would you give them?
I would just say, just be yourself. Be yourself. Be authentic, of course. Care about who you're talking to. Care about what you're talking about. That's a huge thing. Like, don't just be selling something for the paycheck or for this or that. Actually care what you're talking about. Like me personally, I can't sell solar because I don't know much about it and I don't know how it works. So I can't sell something that I don't believe in. And not that I don't believe in solar, I just don't know much about it. But definitely, if you take all of those things into account and you surround yourself by good people and do your homework, look at certain, whether it's podcasts or whatever the case is, if you put all those things together, personally, there's no way you don't succeed. Now, with me, I'm super nervous getting on here, but I just did it. Y'all made it easy too, so I appreciate y'all. But if you have whatever your area is that you need to work on, figure out how to work on it and just go for it. But care about what you're talking about and care about who you're talking to. Because if there's no caring involved, then why are you doing this? Like, what's your why? Like, why, just doesn't make sense to me. But I think anybody can do it. It just has to be the right person who loves the roofing industry, who, loves what they do, kind of thing. And not every day is rainbows. Let me say that. Not every day is a fun, great, fantastic day. But yeah.
What motivates you, Ericka? Like, what's your why?
So my why is definitely my family, obviously. Everyone says that. But I think my why, and I was talking about this on the way here, because, with William, and I was like, I know somebody, whether it's Ty's podcast or somebody else's podcast, is going to ask me this. So I was thinking, I was like, my why to do this is if I can talk to one person and make an impact on them, or if I'm talking to a contractor, right, and they needed us to have that conversation today. Yes, I'm trying to sell them something, but at the same time, we laughed or we did something, whatever the case was. If that made their day just a little bit better by talking to me, that's my why. I'm a huge person on impact. I want to impact as many people as I can, hence why I surround myself full of leaders that want to make an impact on people. But, or if it has to do with a girl who's coming up in sales, who wants to be a salesperson in the roofing industry, whatever the case is, if they can kind of see what I do and see my story in a sense, and that helps them kill it with whatever they're doing, that's the reason I do this. I might be scared shitless, but this is why I do it. So that's definitely my why, after my family and stuff like that. So
that's great.
Amen.
That's a good why.
Yeah.
It is. And like Baker said earlier, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, because nothing great happens when you're comfortable. You know what I mean? So you talked a little bit about qualities, of people that, that might want to be in or get in the roofing, or I'm sorry, the sales, whether it be whatever kind of sales, roofing sales, the sales of roofing.com or whatever. What qualities, and I know you touched on it a little bit, a couple different times, but what qualities do you think it takes to be a very successful salesperson?
Ooh, that's a good question too. Dang, Ty, you're killing it right now with the questions.
Sorry.
Stumping me up. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Well, what makes you so successful other than, you know, the empathy thing. But what
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, all bullshit aside, yes, we got to be genuine, yes, we got to be empathetic. What does it take to fucking kill it, to be a killer? What does it take, girlfriend? Tell me.
I
You've been
think
in sales before you did this, and you
yeah.
were in sales. What did you do to go out there and crush it?
I think it's knowing how to talk to people. And I don't mean the relationship aspect of it. I don't mean creating conversations. Like, me having a psychology degree, I know how people work in a sense. So I can go up, I know if I'm going to go up and talk to you and you're this little old, homeowner, sweet old lady, I already know how I'm going to pitch to you. I already know what's in my head of how I'm going to go about this. I'm going to go about it the empathy way, the sweet, not kind of in your face, from New York kind of person. If I'm going up to someone who's working on their Harley outside, I'm going to be a little bit, not puffed up, but like I'm obviously going to joke around with you and screw around with you a little bit, So I think it's about knowing who you're talking to, and yes, creating relationships, being genuine, having empathy, all that stuff, but also knowing, all right, if I'm going to get, I don't know, I feel like it's like, I don't know, like if I'm going to get an attitude from somebody, I need to know how to give that back to an extent. Obviously don't be rude, but I think it's all about, knowing that person. Even when you go up to a door, like if you're going to slam the door in my face, like I'm going to give you that 5 seconds before you slam that door in my face. Like, I'm going to be like, chill, like, let me talk for a second kind of thing. But I think it's just me really knowing and understanding people. And yes, being who I am, that genuine person who cares about you, but also knowing already in my head how I'm gonna pitch this, or how I'm gonna get you to let me on, in the door kind of thing, or into the conversation. So for me, I think, studying this, my whole college career, studying the psychology around people, and communications and all that other stuff has really given me that kind of one up, because I know all the actual, like, let's just say medical behind it. But I think it's also, adding the genuine into it, but also knowing, okay, this is who I'm going into. This is what I'm doing. I can already tell by the first couple words how you're talking. I already know how I'm going to handle this sale or this pitch or whatever the case is. So for me, that's what it is. The best I got, Ty.
No, that was a great answer.
Yeah.
That was a great answer. And that, that's what I wanted to hear. Of course we hear all the sweet and juicy, you got to be kind and you got to be empathetic. I mean, what's it take to be a salesperson, especially door to door? That is a different mentality. That is a different mindset. And you got to be able to stay up right after you have 20 doors slammed in your face. And it's that one door that finally opens up for you. But to stay motivated, to stay upbeat, that's tough. That takes a lot of mental toughness and a lot of mental strength and a certain type of mindset that not just everybody is cut out for. And it takes a special breed of person to even be in any type of sales, and to deal with rejection is a hard one to deal with, and especially door knocking. So kudos to you for being in that part of our industry, and then finding the position that you're in right now, where it's kind of like, they're coming to you, so you don't necessarily have to go out and fish for them. And you're not dealing with a lot of rejection and stuff. But I just really wanted to hear it from your side of it, because, just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you don't know how to read a man, right? Obviously you do. And somebody was talking about, I think it was Ken Yance, in his sales training pitch. It's like, everybody's a salesperson, right? You wouldn't be here if your daddy wasn't a good salesperson with your mom.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So we all, in some way, shape, or form, have some sort of salesperson in us, whether it be nagging and begging, or whatever that might be in the bedroom, or going out and knocking a door and being able to read somebody's posture, to learn how to rebuttal with and deal with objections, right? Like, especially like right away. I know what's the one thing that you door knockers do all the time, where it says no soliciting, right? those are the ones that are freaking awesome. I love seeing people that were like, they make it, it's a joke where you can go up and knock on a door where it says no soliciting, but those are the ones that they're selling, which I think is great. But that's a certain type of mindset. That's a certain kind of person that can actually go out there and get it. And they're killers. They're good at what they do. And kudos to you for doing that and having that type of experience.
And I think going off that real quick, the door knockers and the mentality wise, I think that, is extremely important, because this is how I've always looked at it, especially door knocking and stuff and this is why I've told William when he's gone out and door knocking, yes, you're going to get, let's just say 10 doors in your face or 9 doors, slammed in your face. But that one that opens up, that one that gives you a chance, like that's the one that really matters. So fight through the 9. Deal with the 9, be pissed off, go in your truck, scream, do whatever you have to do. But there's going to be that one. And that's with anything in life. You're going to go through all of this shit. And then, there's going to be that one person in life that's just going to bring you up. And you're going to be like, this is why I did it. This is exactly why I do it. Now, door knocking, it's a little hard. Not a lot of people are going to believe that. But I think when you have that one person who opens the door, it makes those 9 slam doors in your face all worth it. Because you can finally say, I door knocked and I did it. Like, that's just kind of going off door knocking.
Amen.
Very true.
Yeah. Amen. Well, man, we are an hour and 5 minutes into this already. I just realized what time it was here. Ericka, you freaking crushed it.
Thank you.
You are going to crush it. Just know that your personal brand is already out there and people are aware of you and who you are. So embrace that, whatever that is. And it sounds like something's already starting to come to fruition organically for you, whether you want to go that direction with it or not. But it sounds like you're going to be in the industry for a long time, and that you want people to obviously trust you. And I can tell you 2 things that is your best marketing is trustworthiness, and transparency is the best marketing that you can possibly do for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no matter what industry that you're in. Chris, do you have any last questions for her before we get off here?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a little bit ago, I'm going to give you three traits of a salesperson. I want you to rank them from most important to least important.
Okay.
Your empathy, confidence, and Ty, throw another one. Throw a trait of a salesperson in there.
Shit. The ones I'm thinking are negative.
Psychology. Knowing psychology of people. Okay. Those 3 traits right there. What rank them in most important to least important? Okay,
definitely number 1, confidence, because you can't give a shit what people think about you. That creates all of it. You need, whether it's door knocking, whether it's getting on the phone with somebody, like you have to have confidence. So that's definitely number 1. And then the other 2, they go so close together that that's really hard. But I would say knowing the person, because then you can know to have empathy or not. Because like I said, you don't want to always have empathy and get pushed over. It all depends on who you're talking to. So that's how I would do it. Confidence, number 1, though. I'm so happy you threw confidence in there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was really good.
Great question. And what a great podcast. If you guys haven't liked and subscribed to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, go on to Behind the ToolBelt on our YouTube page. Go on to our TC Backer Construction Facebook page, like it, love it, comment. And so let's support Ericka, because she is a woman on a mission and is trying to change the industry and make it a better place than it was when she found it. So Ericka, thank you so much. Chris Baker, always a pleasure. I love you. I miss you. I will see you tomorrow night. We're going to crush it at the awards.
Sure.
Thank you everybody for tuning in for episode 177. Holy shit, of Behind the ToolBelt.
Thank y'all so much for having me.
You're welcome.